Howdy, hi, and hello, everybody. Welcome to Noah's Nest, where I, myself, Noah, will be sitting down at my computer, my recording station, to help you all either learn a new TTRPG, hear about some character creations that I might do, talk about a topic, or something of the sort. And today, I'm going to be doing something very simple for how-to plays. Today, I will be doing a how-to play one-paged RPGs. For this one, I'm only going to do 2 for now, and then in the future, I'll do more if you guys really do like this. But these 2 one-page are really interesting to me. I have wanted to play them, but bringing it out to you all, or whatever you want to say, could bring more people into it. For these specific one-page RPGs, you could find them at itch.io. It's where a bunch of different people create their own one-page RPGs, and you can donate to them and or get them for free if you really want to. I would suggest donating because these games are very, very fun and interesting, with some of them that I will talk about today. So the first one I will be talking about is called Supernormal. You've always wanted to be in this superhero world, and you've always wanted to be like the Flash and running all over the place, defeating villains, or Superman flying all over the place, shooting your laser eyes, and pretty much being the hero of everything. Well, what about Clark Kent? Superman, what happens when Superman doesn't need to be a hero at the time? What are you doing? That's what Supernormal is. It's where you have amazing powers. You get to actually choose 3 of them, as I'll get further down the page. But you'll get to choose superpowers by fighting crime and saving the world, but you'll be dealing with a day-to-day life, firstly. So, the game is pretty simple. Throughout the game, you might be asked to make a roll or 2, or however many times, to do a mundane task that the world has, like maybe mowing the lawn, or dealing with your annoying neighbors, or something like reaching at a higher point at a shelf at a grocery store. Well, there's different levels to rolling your dice. So if you are subtle or mundane, or just like you're not trying to show off anything, you can blend in. That is rolling 3d6. If you wanted to like maybe be showing off a bit more, or being over the top, or trying to seek attention to yourself, you are going to try and quote-unquote show off, which you would be rolling 2d6. But you can also be blatantly obvious by using your superpowers. If you really want to, you can use Be Super, which is by rolling 1d6. Depending on what you roll, and depending on what you react to, will depend on what kind of roll that you need to roll. From a 1 through a 5, your action works as intended. So if you wanted to be super about it, you roll a 4. Yep, you intentionally lifted up a whole entire building to try and find that extra quarter that you dropped. Or if you tried to show off, yeah, you're able to show off. You're a bit stronger than usual. Like, you're able to dive to stop someone from getting hit by a car or something. Like, you were a bit faster than a normal human for some reason, or something of the sort. From a 6 to an 11, there is a quote-unquote super glitch, as I'll get into that a little bit further. And then there's a 12 to an 18 where the action is supercharged beyond your control, and I will get to that in just a second. So there is another table on this piece of paper where if you would happen to roll a super glitch, you would roll a d6 and then you would take whatever you get on this table. If you happen to have gotten the supercharge and it's beyond your control, you yourself would roll a super glitch and the GM would roll on the super glitch table. And the GM will get to choose which one would make most sense in this scenario, or whichever one that would harm you, or however the GM is feeling at this moment. So if you roll a 1, you perform the action with unexpected level of force. 2, there's a surge of power within that temporarily incapacitates you. 3, you perform the action in the way that draws unwanted attention. 4, you perform the action in the way that causes unwanted destruction. 5, you perform the action in the way that inconveniences others. And 6, you unintentionally activate one or more of your specific superpowers. It gets harder. It just, depending on the situation and however you want your GM to fuck with you, try not to get a supercharge. There's a section on here that says it gets easier. If you happen to roll a super glitch or more than one super glitches, from interacting with the world, you would mark an experience point. Now, write it down, where it happened, and like what interaction caused a super glitch. Like you could be brushing your teeth and you could have had a super glitch. Whenever you interact with the world and you have already experienced that interaction, you get to roll the appropriate amount of dice twice and then pick the lower result. So if you've already brushed your teeth for the 13th time in the week and you already super glitched out, well, it gets a bit easier. You can now brush your teeth almost normally at this point. Next section is undercover. Throughout the day, you're trying to be as mundane as possible. You're trying to split between your super life and your mundane life. If people start to suspect you have superpowers, things will start to go poorly. There are other things that can happen throughout life, like aliens could come, bad guys could show up. If you let your identity slip, you would put threat to you and your loved ones in this game. So you already have 3 superpowers that everyone gets: super strength, invincibility, and then superhuman reactions. But you also get to choose 3 superpowers from this list down here that your super has. You can interpret it how you want to, or your GM can talk through it. After you choose your 3 different superpowers, you have to choose a super name for yourself, like Clark Kent with Superman, or Peter Parker with Spider-Man. And then you would have to make your normal name. So some of these extra superpowers that you could have is like anger, echolocation, jumping, laser vision, mind control, shrinking, stretchiness, speed, and so many more. If you have a different idea or a different power that you would like that's not on this list, talk to your GM. I highly doubt that they'll care with this type of game. Now, for this last part, there is how to run the game for GMs. So you would roll 2d6s for this. It gives you a small table of what your players can do if in a normal day-to-day life. Like you could be at a birthday party, a wedding, a delicious brunch, A day in a park. Usually one of them is for the day, one of them is for the evening, or you can switch it up and do it however you want. Other side can be bowling, night out, sports event, a wild house party. It's just something for your players to do on a quote-unquote day off. So as the day goes on, your players will slowly be letting them go, letting their superpowers get revealed slowly but surely. And depending on how many people there are, how many players are playing, there is a cap of marked experience points that this game caps at. So if there's 4 people playing, you kind of want to have 5 times per person. So if there's 4 people, 5 times 4 is 20. There is one that you can be at 15 if the game is taking a bit longer. But after you reach that point, 15, 20, or however many you choose, your cover is blown. And the rival supervillains or aliens or whatever show up and they try to take you down. So it could be alien invaders, government agents, arch nemesis, Norse gods, rival supers who want a greater market share, dinosaurs came back, whatever. You can choose any of these, you can choose others if something else pops into your head. And that's Supernormal. Very simple, 3d6, 2d6, 1d6, depending on how obvious you want to be. You get to choose some superpowers, act normal, and if you blow your cover, well, then you gotta fight some aliens or your arch nemesis, or like kids from like Codenames Kids Next Door. Yeah, that was Supernormal. Next one, I'm doing 2 this one. Next one is The Beast. You can also find this on itch.io. Bunch of different games that you can donate to, find, and print. So Supernormal was created by Urdside Dice, URSIDICE. So if you want to check them out, that game is really cool and I want to try it out at some point. But The Beast is created by Grant Howitt and Chris Taylor. It is a horror-themed RPG. It is set off in the 18th century, where you're low-rented, maybe low bounty hunters off at the Eastern Europe side, where you end up working for a baron. You fucking despise this guy, but you can only get work from him. The Beast is a powerful and ancient monster that is terrorizing the town or massacring it, and either you kill it or the Baron holds you responsible. So you're kind of fucked in this scenario. So first, you will get to choose a background as a character. From apprentice blacksmith to dead-eyed marksman, fresh-faced priest, fierce midwife, last survivor of the attack, washed up village physician. And you can choose them, you can describe them, and you will get to choose an ally, and then you have to kind of tell what your relationship is with this other background character. Along with picking a background, you will get to choose a skill. You actually get to choose 4 skills that you are trained in, from charming, deceive, healing, shooting, sneaking, tracking, watching, and a couple others. So you get to choose 4 of them that you know how to do. That's all that you get for character creation. Background, and then skills that you're good at. That's kind of it. Simple. Don't need to delve too much into that. Now for this, for succeeding and failing, you will roll a d10. If the action fits your background, explain how, and then add a d10 to the roll. So technically, you could roll 2d10. If you also have a skill that's relevant to the scenario, you get to add another d10. You would add all the dice together and compare to the GM's roll. So they will also roll depending on if it's easy, hard, or challenging. So if you happen to roll 3d10 against an easy challenge, well, hopefully you beat the GM. If you scroll more than the GM, it goes well. Equal or less, it goes badly. There's standard tasks with these succeeds and failures. If you decide to go up against the Beast rolls a d20 instead of a d10. For equipment, it's rated between 1 and 5, which being 1 is poor and 5 being superlative. You get to add the equipment's value to the dice. So if you happen to have 2d10, but you have a level 2 equipment, then you get to add +2 to that. Every single person starts off with 2 pieces of equipment that are rated at level 2. Make them up however you want. Make up an 18th century walkie-talkie or an 18th century gun if you really want to. There's probably guns back then, but I'm just saying. Next is a section called Weaknesses. It says, frame a scene that helps the GM determine how you are attempting to learn the beast's weakness. You can play it through, you can find a way to make it become critical to see if the outcome could work. If you succeed, you are able to learn a beast's weakness. If it fails, the beast learns one of your weaknesses or makes a new one. Weaknesses may or not be shared amongst the beast and its minions. A serious weakness, like the beast's minions poison the town well, may affect the hunters as well. Just have an index card with you, write down any weaknesses that you happen to get or that you might give to the beast or its minions. When you try and take advantage of this weakness, your opponent, could be a monster, could be a player, downgrades their dice by 1 for each weakness. So if they have a d20, they go down to a d12. If they have a d12, 10, 10, 8, 8, 6, 6, 4. You can't go any further than 4. Now with injuries. If you are injured or suffered extreme stress, relatively, if you fail a roll, you have to roll endure. You have to roll endure versus a 1d10 per times you have been injured or damaged. On a success, you press on. On a failure, you're out of action and need to be rescuing. If you're not rescued, well, you're at the mercy of the beast, and who knows if it'll take you. Maybe your GM might allow you to go back into town, recover a little bit, but once again, you're at mercy of the beast. Now this last part is where it helps you. It has a table generator where you're able to generate the beast, where the GM can choose, roll, or make your own at the very start of the game. If you roll conflicting results, you can combine them and somehow, or you can reveal them to be a misdirection. For weaknesses, you roll twice. One of them can be an actual weakness, one of them can be a rumor, both, whatever. It could be a sunlight thing, it could be holy symbols, fire, lightning, but it also could be it's scared of the dark, it is from the stars, it's a demon, it is infected, who knows? They can be both rumors, it could be a weakness, that's your call. Mundane weaknesses. and rumors, you roll twice again. It could be in love with a villager, they're obsessed, or they only hunt at night, but they could also speak with a child's voice. It is older than the mountains. It prowls in the forest and takes the king's deer. Once again, choose any of those that would fit. Next section is what does it want? You can choose 6, you can roll a d6. It wants to revert to its normal form, to ascend to a higher state of being, to drive humans out of its territory, or a couple others. Minions could be human agents, the living dead, half human, half beast monstrosities, puppet automatons. It's really up to you. And the last one is lair. Where does it live? Where does it mainly reside? A cave, high in the mountains, an abandoned mine, the ruins outside of town. It's really up to you what you would like to do with your beast. Create as many weaknesses, create as little weaknesses if you really want to. But all in all, we're just here to have fun. Creating beasts and trying to kill them. That was the beast. I will really want to try and play both of these at some point. But, hey, at least they're getting out there. So, thank you all for listening to Noah's Nest. Really do appreciate it. If you want to check us out, check out all of our other episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many others. We're also on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook if you want to check those out as well, at Creatures and Cantrips. We also have a Patreon. If you want to donate any money, you do not have to. We also have another website called Buymeacoffee. If you want to donate any money as well, you do not have to. I'm still doing this for free. But thank you. Like, share, comment. Tell your friends, tell your family. We really do appreciate it over here. And, as always, see you, love you, miss you. Goodbye, guys.